Good evening, Sword Family. Welcome to the Teahouse. Sorry for the late start, but StreamYard was being a pain in the butt, so I had to go try on a different browser, and now here we are just fine. So, I don't know. Didn't like the browser for some reason. I don't know. Today is World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. And last year, we talked about mostly Tai Chi on World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. Today, we're going to focus more on Qigong. But for those who are not aware, furry co-host, today is also the 62nd, I believe, birthday of Lilian Jie, also known as Jet Li. So pretty much as soon as this stream is over, I'm going to be watching this movie right here, which, for those who don't know, is Fearless, or what is known in the East as Jia, which is the name of the character he plays in that movie. Now, if I had thought more about this before I started today, I might have just done a stream about Jia. But we already have the topic set, so Qigong it is. But first, as always, is the comments. And first through the door at 1:07 p.m. is one of my patrons, Dan Hollyfield. Good evening. Good afternoon. See you in 4 hours. Hello, Dan. And then there's my Foxy. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Teahouse. And Sarah joins us. Hey, hello, Sarah. And Trey is joining us. Hey, hello, Trey. Sarah says, OMG, I just found out that my grandma is a 100-year-old cougar in the nursing home across the street. First one male resident coming around, and now two. Way to go, Grandma. Nice. Go, Grandma. LMAO and Rock On at the same time. Point of reference, she was a preacher's wife for 50 years. Now she's a wild thing, yeah. And Carl is joining us. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Carl. Good for your grandma, Sarah. Yes. You don't die just because you are over 20 or 30 or 50 or 60 or 70 or whatever. People need to, understand that. Kai and right now I know where I get it from. Freaking epic. Yeah, well, you come by it naturally. And Trey greeting Carl, and Aunt Donna is joining us. Hey everyone, hello Donna. I'm glad that I finally got that tea ceremony done for you Monday night. I actually really enjoyed that. I might, do another one just as a review for the other tea, but I do think it's probably going to be a lot of the same. So maybe before we do this one, or before I do it, if I do it by myself. Maybe I'll get a hold of some honey or something to try and sweeten it up a little bit, just in case. Sarah says, hey, fam. All encompassing, yes. And Trey is greeting Donna, and Dan is back. Good evening. Good evening, Dan. And a hi, everyone, from Foxy. And a hey, Dan, and a hey, Foxy from Trey. And there's my kitty. Hey, all. Hello, kitten. Glad you could join us. And Trey greets Kitty. And Carl says, greetings. Greetings. Trey thinks we're to the part of the parade where we're waving at each other. Yes, parade wave. Donna thinks Trey is right. Foxy is waving to everyone. Foxy says, don't forget to like and share. And fair warning, it is quite windy outside. So if I drop off, you know why. Sarah will be around in bits. DQ Chunky Oreo Blizzard on the way, then trip to the grocery store, colliding with the show. But here for now, that's fine, you know. Ice cream. Ice cream is always a good reason to miss this show. But adulting, how dare you? How dare you adult on my time? Yes, like it, cracking cat of nine tails. Some people in this audience might enjoy that. And there is Joe Bachman, my other patron, and the mind behind IndieCD.org, the internet movie database for artists, authors, streamers, gamers, giant compendium of creative peoples. We'll just leave it at that. Hey, everyone slipping in. That's awesome. Yes. Greetings and more greetings. Trey tosses parade candy. Nice. Technical error, StreamYard. Yeah, StreamYard was being a butt. But I'm here, so it's all good. Help is on the way. I got it. It's all good. I don't know what was going on. It was just on the loading screen. Loading. Wasn't bringing anything up. So Joe was heading to the PC to go be tech wizard. Time to renew passwords or destinations? I hope not. And Midnight is joining us over on Twitch. What's up, Midnight? Two are awesome. LOL, StreamYard heard Joe was coming to help and decided to behave. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be the least bit surprised. And a hello to me from Sarah and Donna. Joe threatens it. It works. Yep. There I am. Which browser was broken? I was on the Brave private browser because I have found that if you go private browser, there's a lot less issues with it dropping off like it does. So I use either Opera, which is what I'm on now, or I'll go private browser on Firefox or Brave. Chrome, for whatever reason right now, hates me. It's been going on for maybe a couple months now. I will get on Chrome and it will be fine for about a minute, maybe a minute and a half. And then it just drops, just crashes. The entire browser. Doesn't matter if I have one tab open or 50 tabs open. You get to that like minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, just crashes the whole browser. I've uninstalled it. I've run debugs. Chrome is just, so I stopped using Chrome altogether. And Sarah greeting, Inigo! Already spotted him. Yeah, he's probably going to be around. Donna says, yeah, it's like I'm having problems with my hardware, and the Whitman dude just has to walk in the room and it decides to work. I've done that a few times. Sounds about right, yeah. Need a screenshot. Uh-oh, screenshot of what? Puppy loves? Oh, we can absolutely do screenshot of puppy loves. Pupper co-host, he's, yeah. Love that his ears are still floppy. I think they're going to stay that way by this point. We think, because, you know, he was already a few months old when we got him, but we think he's probably close to being a year old now. So I think, you know, always the rerun. Hope someone takes the hint. Oh, dear. We'll go back and catch the screen. Cat was sitting on the mouse and biting me when I tried to get it. Good cat. And Dawn is joining us. Evening. I behaved today. Talked to amazing indie folk at bookstores. Nice. We do not have to Dawn you this time. And Donna is guessing Hermione as the offending cat. And Trey greets Dawn. And Foxy greets Dawn. Good for you. Watched and enjoyed the tea ceremony. Thanks again for doing it. Thank you for suggesting it. Because honestly, I realize I have not been the greatest at posting short form content. And any suggestions that I get for not Teahouse videos to film, I appreciate those. So anybody else who has any ideas on shorter form videos that I can do, like the tea ceremony, like my casting the fisherman's rod video, and the spinning the umhc that I did earlier this week, any ideas like that, please let me know, and I will do my best to film them just for you. I also filmed a third video this past week, but when I went to edit it, it looked like crap. So I'm going to try and redo it probably sometime this week using this camera. Because the camera on here, it's not bad. But going through StreamYard and with my sketchy internet connection doesn't always look great. So I'm going to try it with the cell phone camera, and we'll see how that works out. And Dan's Lindsay said, thank you for posting this tea ceremony. I'm glad she enjoyed it. Like I said, I might do another one as a second review of the other tea puck. We'll see what happens. Sherry says, OMG was just envisioning the parade wave and brother from another mother does it. Yeah. I've never, well, okay, I can't say that. I have been in a parade when I was in, we'll say grade school just to make it easy. If people ask really, really nice, I might get my yearbook out and show the picture from said parade, but probably not right now. Good for you, Don. Adulting is overrated. You're not wrong. No one signed Trey's adulting permission slip. Well, you're going to have to be not part of the field trip then. And there's co-host being a pest. Yeah. Co-host being adorable. You can be, yeah. One can be both a pest and adorable. She should know. He is an expert. Oh dear. Screenshot is achieved. Carl, Send me that screenshot on like Facebook or whatever, and I'll add it to the media assets. Just, you might need it for something. I don't know. Donna's laughing. Sarah in a parade used to chuck parade candy at people ages. Oh, yeah. Midnight found this channel on YouTube, if people remember that from last week. But he has a, we'll say, personal issue with Google. So he tries to avoid, Google products, which is why we've been talking on Discord instead of Google Chat. But, if he wants to go watch over on YouTube instead of Twitch, we would appreciate that, because I know. Actually, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he probably has a Gmail account, because you need one for just about anything these days. And there is a Trey comment over on Twitch. Didn't have Thesis's Twitch, but now I do. Well, I'm still throwing around the idea of just doing just a game stream like Play 9 Dragons, because did a whole Teahouse episode just on 9 Dragons, and I was going to show some gameplay, but it didn't behave that day. But I figured out the issue that I was having before. So if you guys want to see that, want to see just a gameplay stream, and just me playing the game and interacting with chat, let me know, and I'll do it. Just found my way over to Twitch, so see if Thesis gets double the views. Well, I appreciate it. And hey, over here, Midnight, yes. Oh, come on. Does Midnight have a shoe trophy from Google? Probably not. But as I said on Wednesday night, and as he verified, he does still have that pair of shoes. Dawn says, Dan, I met an author today that is American but moved to Britain to be with her hubby. They're back now, but her book is about the transitions and differences. Okay. All right, yeah. We've taken to love Midnight already. Yeah. I knew he would fit in here. I had no doubt, just because, he was my brother before even I joined this group. So I figure most of the people that I've known before my indie CD life would probably fit in here well. Not all of them. There are some who honestly were uptight for me. So they would probably be just scandalized by this group. And no, I'm not going to invite them just because I said that. Sounds good. Half interacting, nice temps. So real puzzle in the cave. Nice. Want to talk to him directly? Yeah. Do it? Okay. Well, there we go. It will probably be a lot of just me reading, the game text and interacting with the chat. But if we can get it done, then there we go. From the very first appearance when Blake couldn't believe who he was seeing. Yeah. That was a blast from the past if I've ever had one. And Midnight greeting Trey. Love of Midnight commenced. Total shoe in. Oh my God, Sarah. Wow, dude. Foxy is snorting. Sarah laughing. We can scandalize people? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Just what Donna was thinking. Go on with topic. I'll behave. We'll see. Yeah. Laugh it with my dude, sure. So, Qigong. Qigong is moving meditation. A lot of people, if they don't know better, will confuse Qigong and Tai Chi as the same thing, because both are moving meditation. You want to coordinate your movement, your breath, calming your mind. Both of these things are in both Qigong and Tai Chi. But the difference is that Qigong movements are generally more repetitive. Now, anyone who has done Yang Simplified 24 knows that in that form, you do several movements more than once. On the very beginning of the form, you do like 3 or 4 movements 2 or 3 times in a row while you're kind of walking back and forth. But Qigong has you doing the same movements while standing still. So that's one of the biggest differences. So, just for sake of being able to know what I'm talking about, doing Yang Simplified 24, you're going to do this movement, turn around, do it again. Pardon the wild horse's mane. Qigong will have you doing this movement while standing still. That is stretching the bow, I think is what that movement is called. So you're not moving back and forth. You're staying in the same spot. Yes, and scaring the crap out of the snobs, whether in snow or in darkness. Yet, snow would be more difficult. I think that would be entertaining to try. Shenanigans, ice cream, ice cream. And now everyone wants ice cream. Dang it, Sarah. Want ice cream. Almost back on the rails. No! Yang was really popular. It's true. And once you've learned the form, you recognize it. Like, this was years ago, 15, maybe more than 15 years ago, when I learned the Yang Simplified 24. Since then, I'll be watching random things. And I'll go, wait a minute. That's the Yang Simplified 24. You recognize it. It's right there. Speaking of Jet Li, his movie Tai Chi Master, where he plays Zhang Semfeng, who is the founder of Wudang. The end of the movie has him teaching people, and he's teaching them the Yang Simplified 24. You watch the Patrick Swayze movie Roadhouse. When you're doing Tai Chi shirtless by the lake, that's Yang Simplified 24. You see it. You recognize it. But that's That's Tai Chi. That's not Qigong. Not for me. Let's just leave it at for a while. I had nickname of Snow Angel. Okay. That's all right. Don already had ice cream today. Lou's Drive opened up, local burger joint that makes root beer float. Oh, root beer floats. I haven't had a root beer float in so long. How people make a snow angel. Okay. Now, if you want to see the characters for Qigong, just so you can get a look at what they look like. We'll go right here. Traditional, right over here. This is the character for Qi, which is your vital energy. And Gong, this one right here, means achievement or accomplishment. So Qigong together means vital energy achievement. Oh, we have a question from Sarah. Seem to remember being corrected of Kung Fu needing to be pronounced something like Gong Fu. Yes. Kung Fu is an anglicization of Gong Fu. Gong Fu. The O is I just want to make sure before I say something incorrect. Yes, the O in Gong is first tone. So it's flat and even. We go back to the tone video that I did. The O in Gong is a first tone. So it is flat and even. Gong. It doesn't rise. It doesn't dip. It's a flat and even. Gong Fu. That is in Mandarin. So if you wanted to do it in Cantonese, it's more of a Gong. That's where you get Kung Fu from. Cantonese is going to have a first tone on the U. So it's Gong Fu, Gong Fu, Gong Fu. So that's how you get Kung Fu. So that's what the Gong was that I was hearing back in the day. Yeah. Glad you're explaining the difference. Don't remember if it was before that, but that could have been explained. Maybe. But I absolutely do not mind people asking me questions. That's what I'm here for, is to answer questions. I've done 2 or 3 different AMAs just so people could ask me questions. Inigo was mid-chomp and just stopped, like his brain flatlined. Can't talk. LOL, Foxy, that's so me too. Yeah. So, as I said, Qigong is moving meditation as much as Tai Chi is, but the point of Qigong is to get your chi, your vital energy, moving throughout the body. When you're doing Qigong, and this is true, this is not some woo, this is actual proven fact. When you are doing Qigong, especially if you're not thinking while you do it, because a lot of people have, squirrel brain. So even when they're doing moving meditation, they're thinking about, oh, I have to pay taxes. I have to go to the store. I have to do this. No, you need to not think when you're doing moving meditation. Meditation, period. Like the first thing that you have to do in meditation is stop. Stop thinking. Empty your mind. And when you do Qigong, you will start to feel tingling in your body, in your extremities, your hands, your fingers, your feet, your toes, your legs. That's because the Qi is moving, it's circulating. In Chinese medicine and in Chinese mysticism, a lot of sickness, a lot of ailments is because of stagnant or blocked Qi. So getting that Qi moving again, clearing that block, can and has taken some ailments away or made them better. I am very much, and have been for a long time, very much a proponent of combining alternative medicine with modern medicine. There's a reason that so-called alternative medicine was around for so long. It's because it worked. Now, it's entirely possible that it worked because of placebo effect, but it worked. When I was finally able to move again after my hip, doing Qigong along with my physical therapy, I personally think, and this is personal experience, but I think it helped in my healing a lot. And every single time when I went in for physical therapy, everyone was remarking on how well I was healing, how well I was rebuilding the muscle in my leg. And I think it was because I was doing Qigong. Can I prove it? No. Is it anecdotal? Yes. But I think it works. I mean, explain to me back in my mid-20s to mid-30s about, yeah, it's entirely possible. But Qigong dates back more than 2,000 years. And there are many, many different Qigong forms that have developed within different segments of Chinese society. In Confucianism, Taoism, Buddhism, they all developed their own forms of Qigong that also corresponded to their personal, philosophical, and religious beliefs. Confucianism, they want to promote longevity. Taoism and Buddhism, they do it as part of meditation. And Chinese martial artists, you're enhancing your self-defense abilities. Contemporary Qigong basically blends all these things together. But it started as basically part of religious practices. But in the 40s and 50s, the mainland Chinese government wanted to integrate different Qigong approaches into one coherent system to create a singular national Qigong. This is considered by some people as the start of scientific interpretations of Qigong. There was a time period in the late 50s to early 60s called the Great Leap Forward. And then you had the Chinese Cultural Revolution during the late 60s to early mid 70s. You had the Chinese government trying to suppress these ancient systems and schools to try to modernize China. Excuse me. They wanted people to see the country as being more modern and to toss aside these old, antiquated views. So the general public, they were trying to control access. But in hospitals and universities, they encouraged it as long as it was within those strict, closed off places. But once the Cultural Revolution ended, Qigong and Tai Chi became a much more popularized morning exercise practice. This is after the Cultural Revolution is where you started seeing the old Chinese people in the park doing Tai Chi and Qigong. That's because for so long it was closed off for most people, and then it opened back up again, and so you had people like, oh well, we can do this again. Let's go do it. After Mao Zedong died, the subsequent chairman repopularized Qigong, and they started platforming Qigong masters throughout China to teach people. So you can mostly thank Mao Zedong and the Cultural Revolution and the Great Leap Forward for a pause in Qigong's popularity in China. And then, of course, when it opened back up again in the 80s and 90s, then you had people, bringing it back to other countries. And basically, that's how you have Qigong in America now. In probably around the 1980s, that was when they started studying scientifically the supernatural aspects of Qigong. So you had scientists looking at the supernatural uses in Qigong. I remember watching something, and I want to say it was in the early 2000s, but it could have been earlier than that. And I want to say maybe it was on the History Channel, but it's been way, way, way long ago. They had a Qigong master on the show. And they had him, they had some, oh, geez, what do you call them? For painting. I can't think of the damn word. You know, the paper strip canvases. Thank you. They had some canvases, and they had some big wine jugs, and they would set the canvases in the spots between wine jugs. And anyone who has worked with canvases before, especially rice paper canvases, can tell you they're not very sturdy. And they had him show before he started that he was able to just take one finger and poke it through the canvas. And they set these canvases between the wine jugs, and they had him do some Qigong, and he got up and walked across the canvases without breaking them. That's the kind of thing that they were studying, these supernatural aspects of Qigong. He was able to focus his Qi into his upper body only, so that he was so light in his lower body that he was able to walk across these canvases without breaking them. That's the kind of thing that they were studying in the, I want to say it was the mid 1980s, but it's possible that, oh yeah, Qigong has roots in yoga too. A little bit, I think, because Buddhism started in India and yoga started in India. I think that because it's a lot of the same thing, it's moving meditation. I think that yoga was maybe a basis for the Buddhist Qigong practices, and then it just kind of moved up from there. Now, in the late 1990s, the Chinese government again took measures to enforce control of Qigong practices. They closed clinics, they closed hospitals, they banned mystic groups like the Falun Gong and the Zhonggong. So, since that happened, research and practice have only been officially supported in context of health and traditional Chinese medicine. So the mysticism aspect is complete. They don't study that at all anymore, which I think is disappointing, because I think that's a much more interesting aspect of Qigong. Now, there are different kinds of practice in Qigong. They, as I said before, you're coordinating your body, your breath, and your mind. These are the pillars of Qigong: body, breath, mind. They all have to be coordinated or it doesn't work. Qigong usually has two foundational categories: dynamic or active Qigong, which is the slow flowing movements, or meditative or passive Qigong, which are still positions and inner breathing. Dynamic practice is fluid movement coordinated with breathing and awareness. Things like Tai Chi, Bagua Xing Yi, Five Animals, White Crane, these are all dynamic practice. Static practice is holding postures, like planking, like yoga. That's static practice. Meditative practice is being aware of your breath, visualizing, chanting, sounds, focusing on philosophical concepts. There are many different Qigong forms. Now, I don't know. Oh, excuse me again. I don't know for sure if I did a stream just on forms. Could do that one too, if I haven't. But martial arts forms and Qigong forms are very similar. You have a strict set of movements that you repeat with an empty mind, muscle memory. You want to keep this going. I am aware of a few different forms, but you can find up to 73 to 75 forms in ancient literature, and probably 50-ish contemporary forms. And this is just what we have found today. I personally practice a modified version of the Ba Duan Jin. Ba Duan Jin. Ba is 8. Duan means pieces or parts, and Jin is brocade or silk. So Ba Duan Jin is 8 pieces of brocade. Ba Duan Jin is a fairly popular form of Qigong. If you've seen Qigong practiced, it's most likely Ba Duan Jin. But many, many years ago, when I was still living in my parents' house, they had satellite. And with satellite, you had a guide that showed you all the things that were coming on. And I was looking for something to watch, and I noticed that on Discovery Health at like 1:30 in the morning, they were going to be doing a Qigong program. So I set my VCR. Yes, it was that long ago. I set my VCR to record this, and I watched it the next morning. And it was a modified Baduanjin by David Dorian Ross. Now, David Dorian Ross is a fairly famous Chinese medicine practitioner. He does Qigong, he does Tai Chi, and I practiced that off a VCR tape for years, and I even moved it from one tape to another, and I did this probably 2 or 3 different times before I moved it from a VCR tape to my computer. So the quality after that many times of recording and re-recording and re-recording, it's kind of awful, but I still have that same recording, not on this tower, it's on my brick tower that is a brick. So I've had to go out and find other videos of Qigong to continue practicing it. But one of the things he says, one of the movements is called moving the hands like clouds, also known from Tai Chi as cloud hands. And you're breathing in as you bring your hand up to your face level, moving the hand and the head together, exhaling as you drop, inhale, move the hand. This is cloud hands. And while doing that movement, in the video, he says, you will notice tingling in your hands. This is due to the increase in qi in your hands. And if you do this movement and you do it right, and sometimes even if you do it wrong, you will notice that tingling. Just for fun. Just sitting there right now. I want you to do this with me. Sit up straight. Inhale as your hand comes up. Follow your hand with your face. Exhale, drop. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. See, I can already feel it. My fingertips are tingling just from that short period of time. It works. Carl says, sounds like some studies I've read about in the 1980s. Yeah. Like I said, they were studying it in the 80s and 90s. Probably learned things they weren't ready for. You've probably seen that move in a lot of places. It's in the Yang Simplified 24. It's in Baduanjin. It's in a couple of Bagua forms. It's fairly it's a fairly well-known movement. And just for fun, just so you can know what I'm talking about, this is a fairly recent picture of David Dorian Ross. This is probably 30 years after the Qigong program I'm talking about. He has a program called Tai Chi Fit. That's what this shirt is. Right here. Tai Chi Fit. He does chair Tai Chi for people, with mobility issues who can't do standing versions. He still does Qigong. Probably saw a Tai Chi version yet. Like I said, Yang Simplified 24, cloud hands. It's the same thing. The only difference is in the Tai Chi version, you're sidestepping. With the Qigong version, you're not moving. There are several different techniques when it comes to Qigong. Intentional movement, rhythmic breathing, awareness, visualization, and sound. Now, you will not find all 5 of these in every single Qigong form. Some of them will be focused on just movement and breathing, some of them breathing and awareness, some of them awareness and visualization and sound, but those are the 5 techniques of Qigong. There are also principles of softness. So you want your body to not be rigid. You have to be loose. Don't be, and especially the face. You want no expression on your face. Because if you have an expression, your face muscles are tight. You want softness. But you want a solid stance. You want your root to be firm. Your feet, your footing, firm. Your spine is straight. But you want your muscles relaxed. Your joints slightly bent. And you want to be balanced. You want to be able to move over your center of gravity without falling on your face. I have personally witnessed someone doing Qigong, but they were doing it wrong and they fell over because they were rigid. They were stiff in the upper body, but their root was really, really wibbly wobbly, and they just right in the middle of a movement just fell over. So you want to have a solid stance and good balance, but you need to be relaxed. Fluid movements. This is not karate. This is not rigid. You need to be fluid, flowing. And then you have goals. You want to be tranquil. You want to be still, relaxed, fluid. Most advanced Qigong practice is generally considered to be with very little motion. Small movements, very fluid. You don't want to be making big. At the beginning, you can make big movements. But as you get better, your movements will become smaller and smaller, till eventually you'll be practicing Qigong without moving. You will no longer need to move to get the Qi flowing. You can just do it through your breath and your awareness of mind. That's pretty much it. I mean, there's obviously more to it. You know, there's the theories of Chinese medicine and Qigong. There is Taoist Qigong. There's Buddhist Qigong. There's Confucianist Qigong. There's contemporary Qigong. But that's, you know, the basis. Now, if you want to go out and you want to practice Qigong, number one, and this is a warning. If you don't heed this warning, do not blame me. This is a warning. Do not, under any circumstances, practice Qigong before bed. Don't do it. You won't sleep. Your body will be so energized that it will take you a while to get to sleep. Do Qigong first thing in the morning or mid-afternoon. These are the best times to do Qigong. You do it first thing in the morning, and you have all day for your body to re-regulate itself. Now, any decent Qigong practice will end with you recentering your Qi. Your Qi lives in the Dantian, which is a point in your body. It's slightly below your belly button. That's where Qi lives. Right about here. Maybe here. That's where the Qi lives. Doing Qigong, doing Tai Chi, you are circulating it from the Dantian through the body. You end the practice by recentering, which is usually done, not always, usually, by placing one hand over the other and soft circles in the Dantian. Because men and women are different, males and females are different, I should say. Males will start with one hand on top of the other, moving in one direction, then reversing the hands and reversing direction. And women will do, or females will do the opposite. But just because your Qi is recentered into the Dantian, your body is still energized from the work that you did. So don't do it before bed. If you go and you do Qigong before bed and you can't get to sleep until 3 o'clock in the morning, do not blame me. Not my fault. All right? That is a warning. So if you want to go out and find Qigong, there are several videos on YouTube. There are several videos on like Daily Motion. There's also David Dorian Ross's DVDs, if you can afford them. They can be kind of expensive. But morning or afternoon practice, remember, firm root, but relaxed muscles. And that's pretty much it. Very cool. Thanks. Yes. Don't do it. I speak from experience. Yeah. But that's pretty much it for today. I hope that it was at least informative. Like I said, I could do more deep dives on the different schools, the different forms, but that's kind of an overview. Excellent show. Thank you, Trey. And I have something just for this. I hope that everyone learned something today, because knowing is half the battle. Now, yeah, see? Lots of laughter from great show. Thank you. I'm glad that people are enjoying, but Joe shared that with us Thursday night during Last Man Standing. Nah, forgot about that. Well, it's in the media assets. And if anybody else wants it, let me know. I'll put it in your brand so you can have it too. I plan on re-recording that one video, hopefully sometime in the coming week. Yes, I know, it's dinner time. Good boy. Yeah. Go get your antler. Go get it. I don't want to spoil the surprise on what that video is about, but like my Spinning the Piercers video, it is dedicated to that same person. Something that Trey said during our tea time interview, which I would love to sit down and have another discussion with you, Trey, because you give me such wonderful ideas for videos. But I understand that you're busy. So something that she said during that interview had been rattling around in my brain for the past 7 months. So I recorded a video this last week. Looked like crap. So I'm going to try and do it again. With the cell phone camera. Hopefully it will come out better. Having so many moments of what did I do? You do a lot of things. I fully understand why Nick has tapped you to be his successor, because of all the people that I have interviewed, you are probably my favorite. And this is nothing against every other person that I've interviewed. But just the way that we could just very calmly just talk and exchange ideas, it was refreshing. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my discussion with Kimberly. I enjoyed my discussion with Joe and Donna and Rich. Unfortunately, I think Tea Time's going to have to take a little hiatus for now because I've kind of run out of people to talk to. I'm still planning on having me answer the questions. And I have one more person who has agreed to be on. But as I want to have an equal amount of females and males and female presenting and male presenting people, I need something in between these interviews because the other two people, me and the other person, are both male. So I need two more females that I can talk to. But I don't really have any ideas. So if you guys know anybody, female or female presenting, that you think would be interesting to have a tea time discussion, please let me know. Get them in touch with me. We will work something out. All right? Cool. I don't know what I'm going to be doing next week. Next Saturday is the Ren Fair. So depending on how that goes, I might possibly take the day off. I haven't decided yet. Maybe I'll do the gaming stream next Saturday. We'll see. Should just hang out and craft and talk. I would love that. But she is the much more crafty of the two of us. But I would enjoy that. I really would. Aw, got her blushing. Good. But we are over the hour. We have done a fairly basic overview of Qigong, so I think that's enough for tonight. I will see you next week. Just hang out and talk, yeah. And then Coach dropped his antler on her knee. Oh. Night from Carl. Night from Joe. Dan's going to go try on his kilt. I need to get one, but damn, those things are friggin' expensive, dude. I will see you next week. I will possibly have one or two more short form videos. In the meantime, I love you all. Night from Dawn. See you soon. If anybody has ideas for future shows, short form, you know where to find me. Night for Midnight. Pinky Wiggles. Night from Kitty. See you all. I will see you guys later. Zaijian. And goodbye from the dog.